Who do you pray to? The God that let it happen, or the God that let me return? So, and this one is one of my favorites. Take it this one. This beautiful piece was made for me when I went to Cameroon. So this is going back, and I'm going to wear it in one of those special moments, and that will connect me with the motherland. My name is Wanda Tucker. I am a descendant of William Tucker. A number of years ago, we became keenly aware of our family's history in the larger landscape of America's history. And embracing the narrative that we are descendants of Isabel and Anthony and William, and who took on the surname Tucker, who arrived in 1619, in August of 1619. We're getting ready to embark on an amazing journey, going to Angola, to the region of my ancestors of Isabel and Anthony. Not sure what I'm going to feel, but what I'm feeling now, along with the excitement, is the wonder to bridge the gap between 1619 and here we are in 2019, almost 400 years. And we can't close all of the gaps, but slowly but surely closing the gap between what happened then and connecting the journey to who we are now as a people, as a family. That 400-year connection is my family's story. But it's also the story of millions of Americans, African Americans here in the U.S. Happy birthday, dear Mama. Happy birthday to you. The oral history in our family has been significant. We embrace it, and until they or other scientists and other researchers and historians can prove that we are not the descendant, then that is something to be proud of and to hold on to until such a time happens. And so whether it's true or not, until they prove otherwise, I'm going to embrace that narrative. But I am here because someone else was here and someone else survived. That is evident. I'm getting more excited.
And ladies and gentlemen, we will soon be arriving at the airport of Luanda.
It was just anticipating what happens when I land and what's going to happen to me emotionally once that door opens and I begin to take the steps off the plane. I'm here. It's going to take me. Stepping on this soil that has history, that has meaning, chosen by my ancestors to be here. And yet that alone feeling away from family, and I'm here where family began. I hope that at some point my ancestors can speak to me in a way that reminds me of their strength, of their courage. So y'all are gonna keep hugging me so that I don't have to keep going through that, right? When Isabella and Anthony were enslaved here in Rwanda, they were Christians and then they were baptized
E foram batizados
before they were put on the ship.
antes de serem colocados no navio.
What was the purpose of being baptized if they were already Christian?
Infelizmente, os traficantes de escravos procuravam justificar o crime que estavam a cometer. E a melhor forma que encontraram de justificar o crime que estavam a cometer era juntarem uma instituição do mal, no caso a escravatura, a uma instituição do bem, que é a igreja. E nessa relação, eles procuraram construir um discurso apoiado na base da história bíblica. E por isso, os africanos, sendo descendentes de Kahim, também eram amaldiçoados, eram pecadores e tinham que pagar pelo pecado que haviam cometido no passado. E nesse caso, a escravatura aparece como uma forma para pagarem os pecados que haviam cometido no passado. Mas tudo isso era um processo, o processo de retirada dos africanos do pecado ou do mundo da barbárie. Começava com o batismo,
It started with baptism,
seguido da escravatura.
then slavery,
Só assim poderiam ser libertos do
so they
pecado.
could be freed from sin.
I found myself experiencing rage. How the Catholic Church dominated them, brainwashed them in a way to believe that they alone could save them, and yet they were tricked, I feel, into believing that this was their way to God, to heaven. There have been many moments where I felt a bit of a sucker punch when people have those views about Africans, that they deserved it. It's a part of our current political climate, the rhetoric. What gives those people rights to make those kind of statements about other human beings? That mentality is one that causes me anger because we still see it evident in today's society. That enrages me.
Conhecida pelo espírito de resistência e heroísmo dos seus antepassados, é berço de figuras incontornáveis da luta contra a ocupação colonial, como Angola Quiloange e Ngingambande.
We arrived in Malanje last night after a long drive over a very bumpy road. We continued and met the next administrator to Kalandula. We talked about the history of the people coming to the falls for spiritual renewal over the years, and this has been increasing as people are touring Malanje. I felt at home to be around people who looked like me, where I could be who I was and be free to be there without judgment. They started that music going, and those young people jumped up and started dancing. I started to dance with the children and the young people and the villagers, and I had such a wonderful moment. I felt free. It was the old colored burial ground. The cemetery is a sacred place that anchors a place in history. It has its own spiritualness. Over the years prior, different family members would take care of it, and then it was in a bad way for a while, and the city of Hampton became aware of it, and it was a big article in the paper, and it was a bit embarrassing. And as a result of that, our family came together to take ownership and responsibility for the upkeep and the beautification of the cemetery, cleaning out the brush and the trees and the leaves, and making it so that when people visit the cemetery now, it's a calming presence there, and we're very proud of the work that we've done. There's this tension for me between this as a sacred space and a historic space. There's this part of me that says, what else is there that we can discover? But that tension between the sacred and the unknown. Masangano, the fortress. I'd heard a little bit about it, that there was a slave garden there. It's tough to look at that river from that position and to imagine how this process happened. They were baptized under this large cross. They were branded. They were bound. And they had to walk down this pathway that would change their lives forever. This is the pathway that my ancestors walked. They walked this path to a new destiny that they had no idea about, under the influences of the Christian church, that they were a part of the good kingdom, and yet they were walking to a place of hell. And that is so conflicting as I think about Isabel and Anthony taking this last journey of freedom in this homeland, that they get to walk this land. This is the last pathway for them. I walked the path. I couldn't walk the whole path. I just walked part of it. It was too hard. Who do you pray to? The God that let it happen, or the God that let me return? I remain conflicted in my spirit, in my belief system. This was one of the richest experiences of my life. To see the good, the bad, the ugly, the ruins. To see the people, the beautiful people who constantly welcomed me home. It is no small matter. Many of us grew up being told that you're not anyone. We are somebody. We are. And to not forget that.